It is exactly 9:54 a.m. Of course, it's our final interview. We're going to be wrapping up at 10 o'clock, and we are now going to talk with Casey Gerathy. She's a qualified SACE registered educator and a cottage school owner. She's going to respond to obviously the National Assembly passing the BELA Bill. And I think she's as upset as I am, and a lot of other parents are as well. Let's understand what her issues are and how it's going to impact on the cottage school industry going further, and in general, the impact on our school going children. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really good to be here.
Okay, your response to the BELA Bill being signed and passed.
I am horribly upset. Obviously, we have been fighting this BELA Bill for years at this point. There are people that have been writing letters, picketing. We have been complaining about this bill since the very beginning, that it was when it was first drafted, 10 years ago or whatever, and then it was tabled for a while. But one of the biggest problems that I have personally with the BELA Bill is that they have made no allowances for any education outside of or as part of the words I'm looking for are not coming today. I'm having a bit of a hard time, but they've made no allowances for anything outside of the standard mainstream public schooling. Even when it comes to homeschoolers, they want to severely restrict which curriculums homeschoolers can use. Now, one of the reasons why people homeschool is because South Africa's curriculum is not the greatest. CAPS, the Curriculum and Assessment Policy Statement, has severe issues with it. It's not the optimal way to teach. It's not the optimal way to learn. And we know this now. We have years and years of study and data and all of these things saying that it is not optimal for us to spend time in a classroom where it's just rote learning. And unfortunately, CAPS is all about rote learning. So by putting this bill into effect, or by signing this bill into law, what they're basically saying is we want the entire country to have the same dumbed down level of education. We will not allow anybody to look for anything better, try and find anything better, or spend time researching or doing our own thing. This is terrible for homeschoolers, it's terrible for parents, and it's detrimental to education as a whole.
So you talk particularly about homeschoolers, and this is a growing industry. A lot of people opt for homeschooling simply because the class numbers are that much smaller, and you're comforted in the knowledge that your child is going to get one-on-one tuition. But what about those mainstream private schools like your St. John's and Crawfords of the world? How are they impacted by this bill?
So basically, a lot of private schools in South Africa receive some government funding of some sort or another. And anybody that receives any government funding is subject to the new rules of the BELA Bill, which means, unfortunately for schools like that, it means that the Department of Education has the right to remove a school governing body. They can just simply say, we're not happy with the job you're doing, we're taking it away, and we're implementing our own school governing body. This is one of the clauses in the BELA Bill. Most of the BELA Bill, about a third of the BELA Bill, has to do with how school governing bodies are allowed to govern schools. Now, a school governing body is how parents get to have a say in a public school, in a whatever. They get to vote for those people. They get to decide who's on that board. You get a chance. As a parent, you can say, we like this person. We want this person to be our treasurer. We want this person to be, this is the say that parents have. And they're removing that as well. So it gets to a point where parents are going to have as little say as the government can possibly allow them to have. Basically, they want to create a state where every child is treated as a ward of the state, not treated as an individual with parents that know them better than the state does, that want what's best for them. And the majority of children are raised by parents who want what is best for them, who want to see them achieve, who want to see them do well. And this BELA Bill is there. Everything about the BELA Bill, everything that the BELA Bill has in it, is preventing that from happening in the way that we want it to happen. So they are stripping parents' rights, not just in terms of where you're allowed to send your child or what curriculum you're allowed to choose or what the language of instruction in schools will be. They're stripping not just that away, they're also stripping away the rights that parents have in choosing who is governing the school that their children are attending.
So at this late stage of the game, you've been involved for a long time opposing, you and many like yourself, opposing the passing of the bill. It's now done and dusted. At this late stage, is there anything at all that parents could do to stop the full implementation of the bill? We know bills are passed, but they're not implemented almost immediately. Is there still room for negotiation?
So, not really. It has passed through all the stages. However, I would please urge you as a parent, as anybody, the president has not signed it yet. So what you can do is there is an email address that you can send an email to the president asking him to please not sign the bill, but rather to send it back, ask for comprehensive studies into education, into what will truly help education, and that an entirely new bill be drafted. You can do this by sending an email to president@presidency.gov.za. This is about the only thing you can do now is send an email to the president, mention specific clauses, mention how you feel that the democratic process was not properly followed during the bill, during this bill's road to becoming law, which it was not, and just ask the president to please not sign the bill. That email address is monitored by staff at the presidency. And if we can have an overwhelming response there, we may be able to get the president to say, maybe I shouldn't sign this. And if the president doesn't sign it, it will not get gazetted and then become law. So this is what you as a parent or anybody at home can do at this point in time. What we would like to do in the future, obviously, is if this is signed by the president, if it is gazetted, there are groups that are taking it to court. You can assist by helping make sure that they have the money that they need to do that, because it is expensive to take a law to court and oppose it. So there are groups like AfriForum, there are groups like the Petsalotsi Trust. These are groups that are planning on starting cases and start doing a lawsuit against these bills. Against the bill. So this is basically the next step is now we have to leave it to the people who can afford to take it to court. I mean, we as average parents cannot afford that. However, we can contribute and help in that way. So if you have spare money, please find out how you can contribute to funds against the BELA Bill. And as I said, right now, the sooner you send those emails to the president, the better, because he has until, I think it's this week, Friday, to sign that bill. So we have to get those emails in as soon as possible. Obviously, he doesn't have to wait until Friday to sign it. He can sign it before that. And the moment it's signed, then we can no longer appeal to him to not sign it. So again, that email is president@presidency.gov.za.
Cassie, thank you indeed. You, in fact, preempted my final question when you said that different groups will be taking the matter to court. We hope it doesn't get to that point. We hope that the bill doesn't get signed. We hope that the powers that be apply their minds, revise the bill, and really think about our future leaders of this country, because that's what it's about, is it not? Our little children growing up and taking the country forward. Thank you indeed for being with us on the show this morning. You are a cottage school owner and also a qualified SACE registered educator. Thank you indeed for your passion around this matter, because like I've indicated, it's our little darlings, our future leaders of the country who are going to be impacted by this bill. Thanks for your time. Go well. God bless.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your show.
And you. Okay, this hour of News and Views was sponsored by Africa Muslims Agency. Africa Muslims Agency, a beacon of hope to communities for over 35 years in Africa and beyond. And that brings us to wrap up time. Thank you indeed for your time. Hope you've enjoyed all of the interviews. Don't forget to join me again tomorrow morning at the same time. And a shout out to our two producers. The technical producer, of course, is Abdul Salam, and the content producer, Nasreen Naidu. Please take care on the roads. Till tomorrow, Assalamu alaikum. And Khuda Hafiz from me, Julie Ali.